So while we're waiting on things to arrive and stuff, let's stick to the engine bay. And why don't we have a look and see if we can tidy up that heater unit a little bit. Okay, this is inside the car, and in order to get it out, if you've got your heater switch here, you've got the switch back here, and there's a cable that runs from the heater, and then you go down and it goes into, you've got two bolts in there that need to be loosened off so that the cable can be released and come out. The upper one is a 5/16 and the lower one is a 1/4. Okay, and so with those out, you can pull out your heater. I also took those out because I think they might actually fit in at the bottom, so those come out from up here and go through to those holes there. Okay, I think, yeah. So and these go down to the bottom, this here, so you've got one of those on either side as well, which I pulled out as well. So that's what comes out. Now when we look at what we've got inside, I had one bolt that was absolutely rusted solid, one screw rather, which was this one here, which I cut off in the end. So I'm going to have to drill that out, and then we're going to have to look at this, see what we've got in here, and you see, so pipes come through, as you can see through there. So we're going to tidy that up, but other than that, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 plus one up here to take it out, and then we've got it over here, and really I haven't looked at it at all yet. We can see roughly what it looks like, and so we're gonna try taking it apart and cleaning it up a little bit, and actually seeing if it works, because I don't think I've tried it on, so we'll see if we've actually got a motor in here that works or not, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so there we are. So I think we'll start by just clearing up some of that rust and making sure it doesn't fall everywhere, and putting a few screws back in place so they don't get lost. So partway through disassembly, this is what we have. So this is the fan or motor, the heater that goes in there. It's held in by 3 screws, like this. This bit here feeds it to the car, and that was in like that, or maybe the other way round. Was it this way or the other way? Well, it was in one way or the other. There are 4 screws, 1, 2, and then 2 hidden behind the foam. They're tiny little things. Okay, there we go. So we have 4 of those in there, holding this in place. Alright, and then there are 5 of these clips. Alright, and the one I couldn't find was the one that was here. So it's 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the other markings are quite clear, but I can't quite see it in here. So there are 5 of those. So when I look at this, okay, we got some pretty dirty foam. This has come loose, but clearly that's just glue that back on there. I don't know if I want to buy new and clean it off. It's kind of, I guess, felt. So I could buy some felt to put in. I don't know what this sealer is, but this is clearly, I can't believe this is original. So I've got gonna have to get some sort of sealant to seal this up again. And I'll have to have a look at what that should be. It's like, what's it called here? I think my dad calls it Dodo or something like that. Or anyway, but I need something like that. So, and maybe I'll just get silicone sealer for it. I don't know. These could be cleaned up. So inside, okay, well, we've got a bit of rust showing here, so I might want to take a look at that. Although I'm not sure how I'll take this out in order to do that. Okay, I'm not sure how to take this out, but we've got a little bit of rust here and okay, a little bit underneath. So I probably do want to try to take it out and take it apart. On the outside, well, okay, so we've got rust along here. This is interesting because, you know, this is, I mean, it's rusty, but there wasn't actually anything holding it down here, and my Haynes manual didn't show anything holding it. So I'm not sure about that, but this all needs cleaning up. And then we got this, which if I can work out how to disconnect it, well, we could, you know, get in here and clear this up. Now these, what I don't want to do is if they're special kind of rivet, and so I'll have to have a little look about that. And then we can clean these up as well, and then we can just paint it all. So that's the plan to do over the next day or so, I think, and I'm not quite sure how we'll do it yet, but yeah, now that we've got it out, it wasn't actually as hard as I was worried. I've got one screw which I'm going to have to replace, and of course it's got a hidden bolt behind it, so somehow I'm going to have to get that out, leaving the retained bolt there. I'm not sure quite how I'll do that, but we'll have a go, and see what we can do. Okay, I want to check that this works. So what I've done is I've got my battery charger connected up, and then down here I've got the green wire here going to earth, and then I've got a white wire, and we're going to touch on these. Oh, there we go. So that's one, and I think the other must be high or something. Yeah, there we go, that's faster. Okay, so it works, which is good. Which I haven't actually tested in the car, so it's good to know that everything works, and it's worth, you know, doing the rest. So I drilled out those rivets, because I should be able to get that back in. I haven't touched any of that yet, but I've been cleaning up this piece, and it's coming, but I just can't, there's some bits I just can't get it out. Not so bad on the outside, but more so on the inside. I just don't have the tools to get at things, especially, for example, in here, which if I can get an angle, you can see just how bad it is in there and in there. So, and that's where the worst bits are. So what I think I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to cut this bit off. I don't actually know why it's there, but because it wasn't bolted down there in any way, but I'm going to cut it off and weld on a new piece just to replace that. I'm going to finish cleaning up these bits over here, which I haven't even started yet. This one I don't really want to take the wires out of here, so I think I'm just going to tape them up, but I'm going to clean this off. Maybe I'll have to get this out of the way actually, and then I'll have to resolder them. Not quite sure with this yet, but then what I'm going to do is, because I can't get all the rust off, I'm going to use some of this Hammerite. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to thin it quite a lot, maybe 30%, with paint thinner. I'm going to spray it on with a paint gun, and I have sprayed, I've thinned before and sprayed, so I think that will work. It's a bit cold for it, so I might have to take that paint inside just to warm the paint up at least. In fact, I'll definitely have to do that. So I think that's what we're going to do. So hopefully, maybe we'll manage to get this cleaned up today, all of it, so that it's sort of ready for me to have a go at painting it like that. And what I'll do is just, tape up those bits that I don't really want painted, except for maybe this motor, which I've got to think about. See, with this, it looks like, I guess those are rivets. They're just a lot bigger. Is that a rivet with a washer of some kind? A rivet with a rubber washer to protect it or something? I'm going to look at that before I do more with that. And I suppose I could unweld and then re-weld to deal with that bit down there. But next stage, I think, I'm going to, and in fact maybe I won't do these yet, maybe I'll try my plan on this piece. That makes more sense. So if I clean that off and then try the painting just on that little bit, or on that section, that might be the more sensible way to go. We'll see, but we'll start with cutting this off. Right, so I'm looking at this motor in a little bit more detail. Taking those off, hoping that would loosen it up, but it doesn't do anything for me here. As I'm looking at it, it looks like, in order to get this apart, and I don't think I want to do it, I'd have to drill out these 3 rivets, but I'd also have to, there's here, I don't know how well I can get it, but there's some sort of clamp there to hold that, so I'd have to prise this apart to get it off, and I think that would then let this bolt, which I think must come all the way through to here. I can't decide if that's right there. I can't decide if that is more than one piece, or if it's just the shape of it, and I think that this is the head of this, so I'm really uncomfortable about trying to take that apart, so I'm going to put those nuts back on with their washers, and I think I might try, and I've also, to be honest, and I might try just cleaning it up with everything on there, and have to be very, very careful about it. I think I'm going to try that, and I'll see where I go from there. I've actually had a soldering iron to this to try to loosen these up and get them out, and it just wasn't making any. Had it on there for a good 10 minutes and nothing. So I don't know if I'll. So it appears to go through and then be soldered on the other side. So what I might do is cut them right at the end there, and then drill a hole. So if I cut them at the end, just there, and then use a tiny drill bit to drill a hole so that I can put them back through, and I'll just have to add a little, I'd have to take a bit more off the sleeve in order to facilitate that. But I think that would probably let me split those two bits apart. So that might be what I do. This is really just a note for myself, but these felt, I guess, they felt, or sponge washers have just fallen off my very tidy workbench, and so I'm going to need to, I'm going to need to do something to replace those at some point as well. So both of those had some sort of sponge washer around them to help seal it, I guess. So I'll have to do something about that at some point. It's just, this is my workbench currently, and as you can see, a bit of a mess. So making the note when I can. I have here the clips for the outside, which cleaned up nicely, and I've painted them, and I decided to use the chrome paint since I'm going to have spare, and I figured that will look nice against the black. So those are drying up there. So I've been trying to clean this up. I was using this, which it was doing a pretty good job around the top, as you can see, and then it stopped working, and I don't know why. I got down at the bottom here, and this is just spinning, which I'm sure it didn't used to. So anyway, there's something wrong with it, it's not working. So the rest of it I ended up trying to do by hand, and you can see, well, I can't really get into these corners, so this isn't going to come out brilliant, but we are going to paint it with Hammerite, and we're going to try spraying the Hammerite on, which is meant to be direct to rust. Quite what that means I don't know, but so we're going to tape up the bits we don't want paint getting on, and then we're going to hang it and spray it with some thinned Hammerite and see how that comes out. So a little bit disappointing that, but more disappointing that this just has given out on me. It's well, it's only a few months old, it's not been used that much. So as for the other bits, again, so we've got this has had a primer on it, so, and I'm waiting to do some black, and then these two bits have come out relatively clean. Again, I haven't been able to get into some of the corners because my tool's given out, and obviously I have the problem in here where I simply can't get in behind, so those are going to get sprayed with the Hammerite. I haven't started clearing up in the engine bay yet, but I've also over here, I've got this bit. I decided to soak this first in, it's meant to be a rust converter or something. Anyway, it's what I had the little clips in, which cleaned them off nicely. And what's it called? Evaporust. So we're going to have a go at cleaning this up soon. But there is well, there's stuff coming off it anyway. I don't know. We will have a look at that in a bit. But it will be painted at the same time, so actually I might start cleaning it now, we'll see. But that's where we are at the moment. Okay, so these are the key bits all painted, and so that's with, I used 100ml of Hammerite with 30ml or thinner, so quite thin. There's one or two places that look like I missed, and this piece in the middle I was beginning to run out, so I didn't get quite as good a coat, but that should protect it all. Again, I got a run in there. I think choice of how much thinner was a bit too much in the end, and then I used a 1.7mm head, which I think was too much, but that's okay. So that's coming on, and then in the engine bay I have I decided that I given my little tool to get rid of rust to sand it down stopped working, I have taken, by hand I've sanded anywhere where there was rust just to take the top off. I've then applied the rust converter, which is drying, and when that's dry we'll use paint, black paint, spray paint, just to paint over it, which is what this is going to get as well, is satin black. So that's the next stage really, let this all dry. So there we've got the inside of the engine bay painted up. It's had the rust converter and then 2 coats of black. It's quite hard to paint in there, to be honest, with a can and stuff without getting it on everything, so we've had to be quite careful. And then over here we have the various parts. So again, they've had another 2 coats on top of the undercoat. I need to get underneath the large piece here, but everything else has been flipped over, so I need to just get underneath that to do the bottom a couple of times, or in fact the top. And then it's all done, so looking okay as far as I'm concerned. And then we'll put it all back together. Hopefully I will remember how to do it, and we'll go from there. So I've just welded this all back in, and soldered. I thought I'd just give it a quick test prior to finishing off, because if it didn't work I wouldn't want to have to take it all out again. That's all fine, so we can progress on from here now. So there we have it, back in place. It's missing, oh, I haven't done this bit. So I just need to fix that in, and then there's a middle screw which I haven't put in yet because I had to drill out one. So we'll do that. And there's also clearly something's meant to be on here. I can't remember what it is now. I'll have to look at what gets fixed on there. What is it? I can't remember what I've taken off there. So we might be back in a sec. I haven't done the inside yet, so I'm going to go do that now. Okay, trying to get light on this for you. I've got a bit of a problem. Back there you can see a grommet just above the air pipe. And the wire, this wire here, needs to come through there. And having not done it before, trying to get it through there is wrecking my hand. So I need to have a think about how I'm going to do that. I might have to take it all out again in order to get it to fit. I don't know. Right, we've got to think about this. Actually, the solution wasn't that difficult. You just remove the grommet that's in there. Having done that, it's easier to get the wire through. Slip the grommet over the cable, and there you are. But, that's kind of what you're going to do to your arm in the meantime. There we are. So everything back in place, all looks okay. Just need to fix this switch now, and I should be able to make sure it all works properly from in here as well. So yeah, heater unit. I mean, I like the way it looks now in there. I think it's you know, beginning to, I can't get any more light quickly, beginning to come along in there. I haven't remembered what goes on that screw, so I'll have to look at my video and see which bits are missing in order to fix that.